And today I want to talk about something else. That you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world that you came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage. Because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now, because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. Let me share something with you. There's no safe position in life. If we don't know anything else, if we have not learned anything else from the coronavirus, there's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time that you want to live your life full and do the things that you think about. Sure, you want to keep social distancing from people and from particularly toxic, negative, energy draining people. You want to keep social distance from them. Why? Because people rub off on you. But you're here to do the greater work. You're here to do something. You've got to live life like you mean it. When I decided to speak, I went at it hard because I didn't want to be just a speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that stood out, that made a national and global impact. And you can do that too. That's why you're listening to me. You have some talent, you have some knowledge, you have some experiences, you've seen some stuff. And there's some things in you don't want to take to your grave with you. So when you live like a warrior, you live courageously, you're fearless. Here's something else. When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live a life that's different than the life that you lived in 2020, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry, and a lot of people are worried right now. Oh, the new virus coming, and it's even more lethal and spreads easier. Okay, got that. All right. And you got to eat. You got to pay the rent, got to pay the mortgage, got to pay the car note. I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Come on. Yeah, but you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. No. If somebody asks you, hey, sign here, and in the event you get sick, you go on sewers. Do I look like Mr. Kadumbo? No. Create something else. Life is saying no. Don't put your life on the line saying, oh, I got to eat. I can either starve to death or I sign this and risk dying and leaving my family so they can starve without me. No, you can create something else. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I did that for years. For years. Because I knew radio, I did it extremely well. And when I was fired, I was dumbfounded. What am I going to do now? Guess what? Learn something new. That's what. If you're willing to learn. See, most people aren't willing to learn. That's why I say, well, if I don't sign this agreement, my family will die. They'll just starve to death. Are you kidding me? Come on now. No. Don't sign anything that says that if you get sick, they're not liable, because they know that there's a high risk that you might get sick, and they want you to be on your own. If you don't learn anything else, remember the name Herman Cain, who was sitting on the front row at a rally, proud, no mask. We got back to Atlanta, he had to go to the hospital. He said, no big deal. And now he's out of here 5 days later. They don't even mention his name. You talk about proud and involved on radio every day promoting the right. They don't mention his name as if he did not exist. Come on. This life is challenging us. In life, when you don't have enough courage or insight, intelligence, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life moves on you. I'd outgrown radio. And now I can come on anytime I want and you can see me too. So you got to put your foot down. You got to get an attitude. Because, see, we're all basically the same. We're all basically the same. The only thing that separates us are our habits. I wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for my mother. I did not want my mother working once I turned 18. So I made a commitment that I was going to generate enough money with my voice, with my story, in radio and then in speaking, to take care of my mother. You've got some talent. You've got something in you. There's a reason that God chose you out of 400 million sperm. You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on, give me a break. No, you're here to do the greater work. You know it's true. You can deny it if you want to. I don't know how low your consciousness is. I know some people, no matter what I say, they're not going to hear me. The state of consciousness they're in, this message is not for everybody. That's why Jesus said, he who has ear, let him hear. Let her hear. And the people that can hear me, if you can hear me in your heart, not in your ear, I'm not challenging you and your hearing aid. No, I'm saying what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. When you live like a warrior, you are vigilant, you are courageous, you take initiative, you're ambitious, you have an expanded vision of yourself. You're going to take some chances on you. You're going to bet on you. You don't settle for any and everything when you're a warrior. And you got to be in fight mode. You got to be ready to fight. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I'm talking to you right now. I have some challenging pain in my body. But I had to fight to rise above that to come in here and talk to you now. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm supposed to speak. I'm supposed to motivate and inspire people at a time that we need it now more than ever in the history of this country since we've been alive. And so, courage. Work on it. Raise the bar on yourself. Challenge yourself. Decide you're not going to be the same person in 2021 that you were in 2020. And the other thing is, and this is major, consistency. When I decided to be a speaker, I disciplined myself to memorize a minimum of 3 to 5 quotes every day. I didn't have any speaking engagements. The phone was not ringing to, hey, we'd like to book Les Brown. I was preparing myself. I want you as we, in this second day of 2021, just expect things to be great for you. Expect them to be great because you're going to show up differently. You're going to be consistent. You're going to do the things that you need to do that other people won't do. You want to be a perpetual optimist. Let's get it on. Life, you caught me by surprise in 2020, but that ain't going to happen in 2021. All the euphoria is gone. You've shown yourself. Oh, no. I'm not going to get caught up in the hoopla. No. This is a fight. You've taken something from me. We've been stripped. We've been stripped of personal touch. We've been stripped of spending personal, intimate time with loved ones and family members and friends. We've been stripped of gathering together. We've been stripped of a sense of assurance and faith. You've stripped us. No. And so when we look at this, we have to embrace the newness of this life. The reason I cut my hair, I want to remind myself when I look in the mirror, this is not the Les Brown that was in 2020. No. This is the one that's going to fight like a warrior and die a legend. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to make a greater impact. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to bring your family together. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to work on yourself. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to improve your health. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to create wealth. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to live an expanded vision of yourself, and you're going to go all in. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. But make sure you do all you can do. A.L. Williams, come on now. You got to get fired up as you do at a football game or a basketball game, or you start doing a little dance in church when they start strumming the organ. Yeah, no. You want to be fired up thinking and being creative. That's how you want to get your shout on. And creating more wealth to protect yourself and to insulate yourself from the ugliness and from the poverty and from the pain that so many people are expressing. This is your time. And it can only be your time when you are willing, as you look in the mirror, when you get up in the morning, Lord, whatever I face today, together, you and I can handle it. All things work together for good, for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. When you get up in the morning and you decide to live a courageous life every day, get up in the morning, you decide to make a commitment to live your greatest life. Get up in the morning in a spirit of gratitude and say, Lord, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for dragging me into 2021. Thank you for protecting me and those I love. Thank you for the courage to go on, keep it moving. For those that did not make it, for my family members and friends that did not survive, I will live a life that will fill in the blanks for them, because I'm here because of your grace and mercy. I don't take it for granted that I'm still here. And as Orrin Hudson would say, the best day of my life. We're here. We're not taking a dirt nap. We're here. There's some people, no big deal. It's a big deal. We're here. Don't look past this. This life is to be lived. Life is for living, for being happy, for being productive. Herein my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. Much fruit. Not a life of being average or being mediocre. Much fruit. You've been chosen. Are you feeling me here? You've been chosen. You have been chosen for the greater work. And time to step it up. People who operate in darkness, they are relentless. They never stop. They don't take no breaks. They're always doing something. You get up in the morning looking at your phone and say, what happened now? Look at the news and say, oh my goodness, what's next? People who are spreading confusion and darkness and hate, they make it their full-time job to do that. And we have to make it our full-time job to fight back. We have to make it our full-time job. If they run over here, they will limp back. We have to make it our full-time job to fight for a future for our children, to live a life that will outlive us. Sometimes you got to be like Jesus was when he went in there and the disciples were drinking and playing bid whist. What? Y'all about to make me cuss up in there. Get out of here. Come on. Oh yeah. And so many people, it's easy to get relaxed. Once after all the celebration, it's easy to get relaxed. No, there's work to do. See, you've experienced some setbacks. When a car's driving, if the back wheels go the same rate as the front wheels, it will never catch up. So in order to catch up with the front wheels, you got to speed up. You can't be average. You got to put the foot to the floor. That's where we are. See, when you have lost your job, I don't know if you've experienced it, but I have. When you get 2 or 3 months behind on your bills, it takes more than 2 or 3 months to catch up. You looking at somebody, I used to be so broke, I'd walk past the bank and trip the alarm. Oh, behave. Yeah, you want to live like a warrior. When a warrior, you in fight mode. You are willing to do whatever it takes for you to discipline yourself, to dedicate yourself, to take the initiative, to embrace the newness of your life. You're God's instrument. When you embrace the newness of your life, new habits, new choices, new behavior, new friends, you set yourself up for miracles. Miracles are things that God does for you, through you, as you, and you know it's not you. And the only thing you can say when those miracles show up, look at God. Come on now. Come on. Yes. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. This is your time. This is your time. And it requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires collaboration with like-minded people, people going in the direction where you are, people who have goals and dreams, people that are positive and motivated and purposeful, have a sense of purpose, people that is a result of your relationship, that it's profitable for both of you, it's win-win. People that you can get together and create something new. I was on what they call that thing called Clubhouse, and I'm creating some new partnerships and meeting some new people on this new platform. Who's got time to look at television? Viewership should be lower than it's ever been before, because people should be learning things. But don't worry about them. No, don't. That's none of your business. You don't be, oh, you need to be learning stuff. Shut up. It's none of your business what people do with their lives. And don't listen to them when they tell you, oh, you just wasting your time. Then you take on their lifestyle. And then you begin to live the life that they're living. And if that works for you, then do it. No. This road that I'm talking about, the road to life, is straight and narrow. In other words, it's lonely. Everybody won't take that road. It's challenging. Everybody won't take that road. It requires discipline. Everybody won't take that road. It requires perseverance. Everybody won't take that road. It's a mindset. It's not over until I win. You're willing to pay the price. So life is full of distractions. And so I want you to think about, what are your goals and what is it that you see for yourself in and out of the pandemic? You just saw a video. Here I am, 77, just a few months ago, about 3 months ago, I connected with my birth family, and to see a picture for the first time of my birth mother and father. This thing called life, it's just so unpredictable. And so that in the middle of all the stuff that we have to do, and the things that you have to do in terms of your personal stuff, in terms of your business and the people that's a part of your team, and all of the unexpected distractions that we just don't see coming. This is a very challenging time. And what we have to do and know is, first of all, we have to have a program for ourselves to handle what's going on. And I want you to write this down. When things go wrong, don't go with them, because they're going to go wrong. That's going to happen. And so having a strategy, a game plan, a ritual to train your mind to observe things and not buy into the things that you see, that's major now more than ever. This is no time to lose it. And so when we look at all the conflict and all the things, the confusions and the violence and the spike in suicide and politicians lying out of their necks every day and say, don't believe your lying eyes. You say, come on. This is a different kind of place. And so this is a time that you have to begin to focus on you. This lady, she was working in hospice, and she was interviewing patients who just had a few weeks to live.
about 2 months to 3 months, and she asked them, "What do you regret about your life?" And the majority of them said that I wasn't true to myself. That I wish that I had done the things that had been true to me. It's been said that most people die unlived lives. They die a life that's not them. And so I started examining, where am I now and what am I to do with what I'm going through, just with one of my children who's bipolar schizophrenic. How do I handle that? I called Fav and said, "Hey, I need some help. Do you know anybody that can help me?" Because here I am, can motivate people around the world, and my son, look like I made him by myself, can't hear my voice. So that's very challenging, and it's very humbling. So part of what I want to share with you, develop a ritual for you. I'm the fix-it person, but I had to begin to anchor myself in the words, "Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." And if that wasn't enough, I'm at Cancer Centers of America last week, and they said, "Mr. Brown, we know we gave you the Perseverance Award for 29-year prostate cancer conqueror." But we see something here, because I just said, "Let me just check myself out and see how things are going." And they said, "Your white blood cells are low. We've not seen this." And I remember reading a book called Who's the Matter with Me? And what I realized, that the shift that has taken place in my health that I'm now proactively dealing with, it is a result of stress, that I was allowing the stress, dealing with my son, dealing with the business and all my children, and all of the things that I just have to deal with. No, excuse me, not have to deal with, that I get to deal with. I want you to write this down. Operation Clean Slate. Come on, somebody. Well, I'm coming for you right now. I started saying, wait a minute. A lot of stuff that I had on my plate, it wasn't my stuff. And so I decided Operation Clean Slate. I started getting stuff off my plate, my children, my brothers and my sisters and friends. My mother had a sign, my adopted mother had a sign on her mirror, and it read, "Oh Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business." Now I understand. I want you to write this down. We live our lives forward, but we understand it looking backwards. Now I understand what Mama meant, because I was putting my nose in a lot of business that was not my business. Operation Clean Slate. So you have to sometimes stop, look, and make an assessment and ask the question, what am I to do with this? Where am I going? What's going on with me? Who am I really? Who have I been being? And I have been being Superman or Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. It's Mighty Mouse. He's on his way. I said, no, I resign. I can't even call Superman to help me out. You know why? Because they eliminated the telephone booths. He can't even change clothes. I told him not to remove those telephone booths. He's not gonna risk being arrested for indecent exposure, taking off his clothes in a telephone booth. Now that's not an option. So, so here we are. And we have to deal with this stuff. And so number one, you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta have a ritual to take care of yourself. And you know this. And it's very important. And sometimes we need to be reminded of what we know. I'm getting still, and I'm reading the Bible, the Torah, the Kabbalah, the Holy Quran. I'm reading everything. When they said, Mr. Brown, Your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen 2400. Wow. And I say, whoa. But guess what? I got it down. I got it down to below 0. Then it went up to 4. And so I'm working on it again. But what I know is I'm minimizing the stress in my life that I brought into my life. I take responsibility for where I am and this situation. That's an opportunity to prove my discipline and my commitment of making choices that I would be here, and at 77, making the rest of my life the best of my life. And I know that many of you have decided in this mastermind, that's where you are. And because we can't do it by ourselves. And so building mental resolve. I get up early in the morning, listening to things to fortify me, to begin to strengthen myself mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Here's something else. As you begin to dig in and start thinking your life, rethinking it and looking at yourself, why is that important? Because this is a new space that requires a new skill set. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And so Les Brown had to say to himself, hey, look here, if you do the same thing that got you here, that won't serve you in this new space where we are. So self-awareness is very important. Am I being me? Am I being true to myself? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep myself on the path, to do the things that as I go forward, where I am an asset to my family and not a liability? Here's something else. Whatever your goal and dream is, I can share with you based upon my experience, it's possible. And it's necessary. You got to decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen. But not just that, but also who you have to be in order to do that. Because at the end of the day, and you know this, being with Fab, that people don't live life as it is. You live life as you are. If you're not playing with a full deck, if you are not getting a full night's sleep, if you don't have the clarity of mind to make good decisions that will serve you and your team and your family, that's going to be challenging. You become a liability. As Jim Rohn said, is your life a warning or is it an example? A warning of not to do or an example of what to do? So taking care of yourself. And I want you to write this down. Live your life, and this is where I am. And I really want you to put this someplace that you can see it. Live your life the way that you want to lead your life. I was talking to a room of entrepreneurs, and I asked them, if you knew you had just a few weeks to live, what would you do differently? And I was surprised that the majority said, I would quit my business, and they start thinking about things that they were going to do. And here's what was fascinating. There's a young lady in there named Pauline Ahi. Pauline was born with no arms and no legs. And so as I was passing her table in this training I was doing, someone said, did you hear what Les said? Write down the things that you would do differently if you knew you just had a few weeks to live. She said, yes, I heard him. And what most of them did at the table, they talked about quitting their business and start traveling and just doing a variety of things. And what she said, I would continue to be me. And when they heard her say that, these people who had written out all the things that they had taken on and all the things that they said that they would step away from, they began to rethink themselves. And I asked also the second follow-up question, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now? Pauline did not have one thing on her paper. No arms, no legs, married with children. And they asked, you gotta have some problem. You don't have no arms. You don't have no legs. That's gotta be very challenging. He said, I don't have no challenge. I find a way to live life on my terms. Whoa. That's major. She said, I've set my life up, my environment, the people in my life, the things that I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm doing that's outside of what I want to do. I'm doing the stuff that's me. I'm being true to me. That's some lesson in that. See, if I knew I had a few weeks to live, I'd do more Zooms and give more motivational speeches. I told my kids, if they tell you I'm dead, don't let them embalm me for 3 days. Sneak in there and put a microphone in my head and my hand in the morgue. And if I don't grab it and say, you gotta be hungry, you call your brothers and sisters and say, Dad's gone. Yeah, but, and if my casket give me a microphone and some Colonel Sanders chicken, I'll be fine. This thing called life. So just determining who are you now and who is it you need to be for this vision that you see of yourself, because life is very challenging. It's sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they don't go so well. It's a roller coaster. And so be true to you and decide the things that you envision for yourself, the reason that you're there, the goals that you've set, the relationships that you're building. Make sure that it represents who you are and the things that you envision. You got to have a mindset that I'm going to do this, just like we got started out. Some stuff happened. It's called life. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. Here's something else. Determine what is it that you really want. That's major. What do I really want? And when I started practicing, and I got this from a friend of mine, business partner, Celeste Johnson, Operation Clean Slate, I took a lot of things off my plate, and I'm focusing on doing those things that's in my heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Spending more time with my children and my grandchildren and my 4 great-grandsons. And so when you look at the things that you want, of creating special moments, it's been said is not the number of breaths that you take, but the number of breaths that takes, the number of moments that you create that takes your breath away. And that's what I'm looking at and focusing on. I remember when I read this article about Howard Hughes, who at that time was the wealthiest man in the world, and they were trying to rush him someplace on an airplane, and he died. And someone asked the question, how much did he leave? And somebody answered, all of it. And so when we look at ourselves, we got to ask, what's really important? Making a decision, and this time that you're there to rethink your life. What's necessary for you that you want to do before you check out? I remember being at Caesar's Palace, and Frank Sinatra was at a table seated next to me, and at that time I was married to Gladys Knight. I was the conductor of the midnight train. Come on now. I wasn't one of the pips, I was the conductor. Come on. And I heard him say to a young man, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so, and I want you to write this down. And this is a biggie for me right now. A friend of mine, Samantha, and I said, how you doing? And she sounded so bubbly and so happy. I say, what's going on with you? Why are you so bubbly and happy? And I haven't seen you in a minute. She said, well, the reason I am, and I'm like this every day. And I said, why? She said, this is a non-refundable day. Whoa. I don't have time to be depressed and stressed out. It's non-refundable. I'm going to make the best of it. I hear you talking about making the rest of your life the best of your life. She said, that's real, because each moment, each day is non-refundable. I reminded myself that every hour, the time that I invest, the conversations that I have. I won't take a phone call unless it's positive, unless it's purposeful, unless it's productive, unless it's going in the direction of where I'm going. I'm not just going to give my time away. I'm 77. No, homie ain't playing that. I'm going to leave my life the way I wanted to do something more meaningful and make a greater impact. I still have some more in me. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. I still believe, and I'm sure some of you believe, that you still have some more in you, that the best is yet to come. Here's something else. Your why, what has driven me and caused me to become the person that I am, was I wanted to take care of my adopted mother. You know, my birth mother, she gave me life, but my adopted mother, she taught me how to live life. I feel like Abraham Lincoln has said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And Mama, she was always engaged in life. She was always looking for ways that she could do something differently. It was not unusual for us to come home and Mama, as small as our house was, that she had reconfigured the furniture in the house. And I remember one time coming home and there was a big window in the living room leaning up against the wall. And I said, Mama, why do you have this window here? Well, they tore this house down and you say you're gonna get me a home. Well, I got this window, so if you're gonna build me a home, I got a window that could fit. I said, no, man, I'm not gonna buy a home that don't have windows in every room. Come on. And she most certainly accelerated me to getting the home that I promised her that I would get for her. But she had the vision saying, I'm going to participate in this and what you're going to do. I'm going to do my part. And so what reason you're here, you've decided, hey, I got something else I want to do. You've got some bigger goals that you want to achieve. And write this down. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I got 3 brothers, 2 that I didn't know. And they look at me and they say, whoa, how is it possible? You're just like our birth mother and you didn't know her, and our grandmother, and you didn't know either one, didn't see them. How is it possible? And you're just like them. And the reason is, one, they didn't have any goals beyond their comfort zone and still don't. And they're fine with that. And that's okay. And the other thing is that people say, well, it's in your genes. No. I remember spending a whole day with Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou said, it aggravates me when people say I'm a natural communicator. She said, show me a natural heart surgeon. She said, no, I'm trained. And so if they put in the effort and the time like you're doing to get training and upgrade my knowledge, my relationships, expand my vision and dreams, I would be living just a non-consequential life. I didn't want that. The reason you're there, that you want to make a greater impact with your business, with the people that you're working with, to bring out the best in them, but also be the model, not just the messenger, but the message that you want to bring out the best in yourself, to challenge yourself. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're there, creating collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. That's why you're there. You know there's something in you that says, this is not just it for me. There is more for me. People can be distracted by what's going on in Ukraine, by what's going on with the virus. But as for me, I know that this is my life right now. There is no duplicate, and I want to maximize it. Give yourselves a round of applause for reaching for your greatness. Do that right now.
I believe that life is for living, for loving, and being healthy, and living a meaningful life, a purposeful life. Why purposeful? Well, because it narrows your choices. I spent time talking to my son last night. I said, I don't have a void in my life because I don't know who my father was that I'm aware of. I'm adopted, okay? What I was saying to him, I said, the conversation that I'm going to have with you right now is a conversation if I knew my father that he would have with me. And right now, I'm feeling that. I'm going to talk to you and share some things with you that I've seen, that I've experienced. And ultimately, it's your call. It's your choice. But I've seen a thing or two. I know a thing or two. I can't make the choices for you. All I can share with you to minimize the pain and disappointment and just living a life that's not you, that does not represent the highest that's within you. I'm going to talk to you now about some things that I'm encouraging you to do so that your future you, your future life that's in you will say, man, I'm glad you did that. Wow, I'm glad you made that choice. I said, are you with me? He said, yes, sir, Dad. I said, don't you have anything to say? Well, he said, well, I'm not going to argue for my limitations. All right, because I was telling him about something. I said, you don't want to do that. That's not going to help you. Make choices and ask yourself the question, is this going to bring the best out of me? Is this moving my life in the direction that represents the highest that is within me? Or is this going to take me down a path at some point in time I will regret that I made this choice? Robert Frost, come forth, please. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I selected the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it, because few there be that are willing to be disciplined. Few there be that are willing to listen. Few there be that are coachable. Few there be that are willing to leverage the experiences of other people so they can maximize their impact in this thing called life. You can't tell them anything. There's nothing worse than arrogance and ignorance. People who think they know and they don't know. If you're not one of those people and you're ready to be coached, or you're ready for breakthrough thinking, as Dr. Stan would say, Dr. Breakthrough. Yeah. Hello, I got it like that. As Reverend Ike would say, you can't lose with the stuff I use. Oh, behave. Why are you laughing? You got to laugh today. You got to. You got to find ways and create special moments. I'm creating a moment that we spend together. You're going to be saying to some of your friends, you know what? I watched that crazy boy Les Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy. He had me rolling, child. He needs some help. He a little touch of the head, really. He cut his flat top off too. Yeah, he used to be looking like Kid and Play from House Party. Yeah, he cut the flat top off. Somebody got to him. No, they did not. Not. I just did it because it's a new year. I'm going to get it done in 21. There's some things I'm determined to do, determined to accomplish. What is it that you're determined to do? that you are determined to accomplish, that you've been going at it again and again and again, and you fail, and now you're ready to quit, or you've already quit. I'm saying to you, come, Lazarus, come forth. Had to call him 3 times. Come on, you got the power to come out of there. Lazarus, didn't you hear me? You know something. People watch and say, you know, I think Jerusalem Slim has lost it. He called him, we told him the man's dead. Yeah, there are a lot of people walking around with a lot of potential in them that's dead. Greatness in them, that's dead. Genius in them, that's dead. Abilities and talents that need to be resurrected, that's dead. Greatness and abilities to change the world that need to be called forth 3 times. Lazarus, come forth. Whoa, wow. He said, brothers and sisters start running from everywhere. Oh, my Lord, good Lord. That's a good Google Moogle. They said, he's on fire. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Wow. The distance that I have traveled so far is longer than the distance I have left. Is that the same for you? We don't know how much time we have left. If that's the same for you, have you had some setbacks and failures and you have convinced yourself it can't be done? No. Change your approach, but don't change your decision. Get some help. Because by changing your approach and getting some help, you can take your performance and your impact to another level. By getting the right help and the right coaching, you can live a life that will outlive you. Oh, you have greatness in you. Yes, yes, absolutely you do. It's not judged by how much money you have or your materialistic possessions. It's not judged by that. No. No. I've never seen an ambulance or hearse at a funeral carrying some money behind it, or furniture, or a home, dragging all that stuff out to the cemetery. No. They don't bury you with homes, with your brand new car, your Rolex watch. No. No, you're going to leave it all here. When Howard Hughes, who was the richest man in the world, died, somebody asked on the plane, how much did he leave? And the answer was, all of it. Guess what? Vi Clark, my friend who passed, she said, life don't owe me any change. I've lived life my way. Live your life in such a way that life don't owe you any change. Or you got a goal, a dream. Just say, you know, I got this dream that keeps showing up and it's up in my face, something that I want to do with my life. Okay, all right. I got you. I know that. I had this goal and dream of buying my mother a home, and I did it. I did it. I'm working with somebody right now who they have the same dream. I said, good. I'm going to show you how to do that. They came to me, and we have a form that people fill out where we vet and find out, what is it you want to do? What's your goal? What's your dream? You are hungry to win. If you're hungry to overcome your fears, if you're hungry to learn how to use your voice, if you're hungry to live a larger life, if you're hungry to live a life of adventure, Helen Keller said that life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. If you're hungry to transition out of a job that's not you and want to learn how to do something that is you, if you are in that kind of place and you know that you just feel it in your heart of hearts, the best is yet to come. The best in me is yet to come. What I've gone through will not define me. The best is yet to come. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. The best is yet to come. You are more than a conqueror. The best is yet to come. Be with that. Know that. And live your life from that place of power.